you'd think Germans know how to speak English.
Yes.
And the fact that even maybe when you try to approach them, they might know a little bit of English, and you ask them if they speak English, they'll still say no. I had a very bad experience the first day that I arrived. So I think it helped me in terms of my faith, being able to have sort of a different relationship with God. While I was a student, I was doing babysitting jobs. Some guy I had gone on a date with decided to remove an EpiPen and jabbed himself. I love to buy myself flowers. I love flowers. My dad used to buy my mom flowers all the time.
Guys, welcome back again to another episode. So on today's episode, I'm joined by Lovette. So Lovette is here to share her story as a self-sponsored learner and how she navigated schooling in Berlin and eventually landing her first job. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Shilma. Really glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have you. So can you give a quick intro for those who might not know you?
Hi guys, my name is Lovette and I'm based in Berlin. I've been here for 6 years. I'm originally half Zambian, half Zimbabwean, and I came here as a student. I'm working now just after my master's. I was doing a master's program in strategic marketing.
That's interesting. She has a lot of things to share with us today. But before we get into the core of the conversation, I like to take people back to where the journey started. So how was it like living in Zimbabwe?
So interesting enough, my whole childhood I've been relocating. So as I mentioned, I was born in Zambia, but grew up in Zimbabwe and then moved to South Africa where I schooled there as well, and then back to Zambia. So it was quite interesting. It was quite diverse and having to experience diverse cultures, which was really good.
Yeah.
But I would say from the three, I loved Zimbabwe more because by then it was great, not what's going on at the moment economically, but I think that was the best place that I enjoyed living in. And
wow. I think I would say the same about myself too. I feel like my childhood was the best time so far. I mean, I'm having an amazing time, but there was this freedom, and when you're still a child, you're not thinking about anything. It's just like pure freedom. I really enjoyed my childhood. Now let's talk about why you decided to leave this life behind and then decided to migrate to Germany and to Berlin. Why Berlin in particular?
To be honest, it was, I wouldn't say a random decision, but I felt like I wanted to explore the world.
Oh, okay.
And precisely Europe. I was making a few trips back and forth to the UK because I did a UK bachelor's program, so it was long distance. So I decided, I'm not sure about maybe the Nigerian culture, but especially like in the South, obviously like as a woman, there's this expectation to get married. And I felt like, before I get married, at least let me explore Europe. And one other thing is because I was self-funding, because remember I made this decision and at this point I was independent, I was working and everything. So I actually listed down about 10 universities. Quite weird. I'm such a planner that I listed 10 universities, different countries.
Okay.
My top country I think was Netherlands. But I remember I made that decision, I think that was towards September, that I wanted to relocate. So I started contacting all the universities. I made my applications. And from all those, I think Germany was on the top because I was doing sort of like pros and cons of the universities. And one of the things I was looking for is, for instance, the post-study visa. The UK maximum, I think 6 months, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe now it's changed, but by then it was like 6 months post-study.
I think it's about 2 years now, if I'm not mistaken.
So I looked at my options, and also the UK was more expensive for me. That would have been also my first choice, and then Netherlands second choice. So I thought to myself, even if I get a 50% scholarship, because due to my job then I didn't qualify for the Commonwealth, which offers 100%. So I did the 50% scholarship, and when I looked at the pricing, I was like, still Germany is cheaper, even with full 100% fees. So I then decided, fine, I am going to go to Germany. And one of the consultants, and which was also quite weird, I think probably they use AI or whatever, but they reached out to me saying, oh, we've seen, because I don't remember applying for that particular university.
Okay.
And they reached out to me and I was like, oh, well, cool. And, you know, but also maybe one thing that maybe I wish I did better was research a bit more. I think I just had this perception that Germany developed probably English without understanding that it's not an English speaking country.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why Germany, I could afford it on my saved up money that I had. And yeah, that's why.
That's really like motivating, interesting. So now, what was your first impression when you moved into Berlin? And also, was your program taught in English?
Yes, so my program was in English. It was 18 months. It was a master's degree in strategic marketing. And when I came, I thought, oh, Germany, very developed. You know, when you hear of Germany, you know, you think of that. I had a very bad experience the first day that I arrived because I booked myself in a hotel for a week. And then the next day I decided to go out to go buy a SIM card. Now, the debit card I was using couldn't work. So now I had all this money in my account and couldn't even buy even anything in the store because my debit card couldn't work. And at that point, I went back to my hotel and I cried.
And what was the reason? Why wasn't it working?
I think because it was a Visa card, but I'm not sure the restrictions, what was wrong with the restrictions. So maybe it was the particular bank, maybe because I did go to the bank to tell them that I'm traveling and they should open it to security, whatever. But for some reason it didn't work. So I was stuck without money and I had to call my uncle to send me money through Western Union. And that's how I got it. But then I think just being able to understand that the payment system is not as like card, it's more, you know, I think that was a bit of a challenge. Navigating, I think the language, having to find your way around and having nobody, I think that was also a challenge.
Yeah, that's interesting. I would think that probably the COVID period opened up a lot of countries to doing more of digital products.
Yeah.
Because if you had to go through all of that just to use the card, I'm so happy that I came later on. So you've been in Germany for like 6 years now. Let's talk about some of the challenges that you face like living in this new space. And when you compare the expectations you had about Germany to the reality, like what would you say are the biggest shockers?
I think it's the language barrier, to be honest. The language, that was the biggest shock because you'd think Germans speak English and know how to speak English. And the fact that even maybe when you try to approach them, they might know a little bit of English and you ask them if they speak English, they'll still say no, which then I got to realize that they're not just saying no because they don't want to speak to you, but they're also nervous to speak, to make mistakes and speak English.
Yes.
So I think that was the major challenge. And because of that, Germans are a bit closed up. So it's also not easy to interact or make friends.
Oh, so language was the only thing.
I would say language. Another thing would be maybe community, because obviously I moved to a country where I absolutely had no one. Probably friends, elder sister, but she stays in a town that's 9 hours away. So literally I had nobody, no friends, no nothing. So it was basically... The day that I cried, I literally said, what were you thinking? Like, of all countries, you know? And so I think community, just having that, like, I wouldn't say community, more of like family and friends that you're familiar with, or a culture that you're familiar with, and also the language. Yeah,
that's really, I mean, communities are very important, you know. And now that you're mentioning community, have you been able to build that now? Or if yes, how difficult has it been?
To be honest, I think that's been the most difficult things for me. I have built sort of like a network, which is, I think, something that I would say has helped me in terms of, let's say, career-wise.
Okay.
But in terms of community, maybe because initially when I came, obviously I had a few friends from university, like fellow Zambians or Zimbabweans or South Africans. But then a lot of the people I was with at university left because just after I was about to finish my master's, COVID started. So I think the impact of COVID, a lot of people who came for studies or whatever, everybody left. And it was like, literally, I left as well for almost like 6 months thinking I'm not gonna, because initially when I came, I didn't think I'd stay here for good. I thought it was just my master's and then I'll be gone. So I think that's been the most challenging. And I'm not really an out there person. So it even makes it more harder to like start building up new communities. But I do have like a career network, sort of like people that I can rely on in terms of mentorships and all that stuff. But
that's really good. Now, usually when you move from your country to a new country, especially a country that doesn't even speak the same language, so it takes a lot to adapt into the new system. And part of what it takes is learning and unlearning, either unlearning some of the things about yourself or your culture, or relearning the things about this new culture. So what are some of those things that you had to unlearn about yourself or your culture in order to fit into this new society?
I would say that phase for me was a bit easier because, as I mentioned, I grew up in 3 countries. So I think I was sort of used to change and used to people being different, either from me, either culturally, religiously, or ethnicity. I was already used to that. So I think the transition didn't really affect me in terms of having to adjust. Maybe one thing I would say is food, because I'm such a foodie. I love food. I love cooking. So I think just the food aspect, where I think the German culture, it's more, well, I would say tasteless, not spiced enough, not seasoned enough, right? So I think that was one of the most, where I felt like, oh, I need to adjust. But I think it wasn't such a big adjustment because I love cooking. So I sort of just made sure that every time when I'm coming, I carry my spices, my Robertson spices and all that stuff. And then I do more cooking than I do eating out. If I am eating out, it's a bit obviously on the pricier side if you have to get more tasty food. So I think that was something that I would say, but in terms of me adjusting as a person, I think it was more of my faith. I'm a Christian, so I think it was more my faith. I think Germany helped me sort of get in touch with my weakness, if that makes sense. Just being able to be okay to say sometimes you might not have everything figured out. Sometimes it's okay to just, let's say, cry and, sometimes you can just be in your house and just, so I think getting more in touch with my weakness and learning how to navigate that you might not have it all, or you might, because now I had to be more economical, in terms of rationing, being a student, back to rationing and all that stuff. So I think it helped me in terms of my faith, being able to have sort of a different relationship with God. Because I think the relationship that I had was more of things are going great and I'm so grateful and everything. But I think coming to Germany, I sort of not really took steps backwards in terms of my financial whatever. But it just helped me be able to talk to God about
your struggles.
My struggles, right? I think I found myself, moments where I would be in a room and I wouldn't really want to talk to God about what I'm going through. And there was a period where I was in my room for almost 2 weeks. I couldn't get out and I was forced to just talk to him, So I think it just helped me in terms of my faith and having that type of relationship where like it's not just about the good times, but also the not so good times. And also just my communication with God, knowing that it's not just about the prayer, but it's also about just saying how you feel and expressing you and telling him your emotions. So
that's a very good one, because I feel like one of the things that comes with living in this part of the world, people are so individualistic here. Back home we are quite community driven, so but when you come here you tend to spend a lot of time by yourself. So and spending that time is not always fancy. Like you get to figure out yourself. Because now you don't have any distractions, and those are the times that you really have to work on yourself. It comes with a lot of fire, but at the end of the day, it's really like refines you. I think.
That's true.
Yeah, that's amazing. Looking through your journey from several migrations to where you've gotten to now, what would you say has been the defining points in your life? Maybe like a time you had to make a drastic decision, or a decision that have influenced how you're living your life today, if any. Because some people have a smooth sail, but do you have any defining moments where you had to like take a very sharp turn into your way of life?
I would say the whole relocation, because before I relocated, I was at a stage in my life where I was financially okay, I was doing very well. So I think having to relocate, I went back to being a student, unemployed. I didn't realize that immediately you get a job, because I had some savings. So I think that was more defining, because then I was literally starting my life from scratch. And then I did that twice. Because after I finished my studies, remember, I left again for 6 months and then I had to come back again. So I think that was life-changing, because I also feel like maybe there were other things I could have been focusing on if I didn't relocate, right? and maybe I would have been a bit further in life, or who knows, right? So I think that relocating was like I was starting from zero.
Yeah.
No job, no apartment,
Yeah.
no nothing, and then now having to build myself up.
Yeah.
So I think that was the life-changing moment. And I think when I look back now to where I am, I'm happy and I'm glad that I made that decision to relocate. Yeah.
After doing your master's, can you tell us a bit of how you got your first job? Because I've always been curious. Like, I want to know, like, how people really do it here. Because I feel like these days, they hardly have opportunities for junior, like when somebody is just leaving school. I don't know how it is. You know, luckily for me and maybe like some of my friends, we had some experience before coming here. So I'm always curious to know how it is for foreigners who are living in this country, like who come for studies, and how they land their first job.
Okay. Before I get to how I got my first job, let me even take you back in terms of student work. How I managed to sort of like have income while I was a student. I was doing babysitting jobs.
Oh, nice.
I love kids. And I was literally babysitting. And the goodness about Germany and start jobs is it's almost similar to minimum wage, like or minimum white collar job, because you're being paid per hour. So I did a lot of that, but I was quite privileged enough. I landed a job because I was just applying and everything. I landed a job as a sales representative for a feedback company. And then later on, I landed a job as well with the university as a data analyst.
Oh, nice.
So I think I was privileged in that sense. But then when COVID happened, they were letting go of all students.
Oh.
So I was unemployed. And I think that was one of the reasons why I went back home, because I was like, hey, I'll not come and suffer in people's country. Let me go back. But yeah, so...
Oh, you went back to Zimbabwe now?
So I actually went back to Zambia.
To Zambia,
Yeah,
okay.
so I went back to Zambia. And at that point, I was like, right... To be honest with you, because at that point I was doing my dissertation, and it was, you could do your dissertation the last 3 months of the dissertation, because it's 6 months, the last 3 months I was doing it in Zambia.
I see.
So firstly, having to even go back, there were no flights to go back. That was also another challenge. So now imagine I'm doing my last few months here. I want to leave. I can't leave. There's no flight. Then I'm having to spend the last money that I have. It was just a very uncertain times. So I went back, and when I went back, I still had validity for my student visa. Right, I hadn't yet even applied for the post-study visa, the one I chose Germany for, but I still had my student visa. I think it was still valid for a year. So I went back with the assumption that I'm starting my life all over again, but in Zambia. But while there as well, and this is where my faith comes in again, remember, because at this point when I just arrived there, I was like, God, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm praying obviously for certainty where I'll stay, because I wasn't sure that Germany or Zambia. And also in terms of financial, because by then I think I even had a loan from my uncle for my studies, because I had to finish it off quickly. And then also for a job. So those were the three things I was praying for. And I just said, God, I don't know what's going to happen. But with time, I was just praying for a job. I was applying. I was, this thing where back home you have to, who knows who, trying to talk to people. And I think I reached a moment where I was having that conversation with God as well. And then I was just like, why am I not trusting God to help me with a job, right? He's brought me this far. There's no way, like And I think that period, I think it was within that month, I got headhunted by 2 companies actually.
Oh, nice.
No, 3. 2 in Germany and 1 in the UK.
Okay.
The UK one was more of networking through LinkedIn, and the person referenced me and they reached out to me. But obviously the UK and visa issues, I wasn't even going to start. But the Germany ones, I think one was in the automobile industry.
Okay.
And then the other one was recruitment.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did the interviews while they're in Zambia, and I think they had the assumption that I wouldn't come back to Germany. Maybe I don't have a visa. So they're like, right, you've finished all the stage. I think I did 2-stage interviews. And they said the last stage is meet the team. And
in person?
Yeah, meet the team. Ooh. So I think they wanted to see if I'll actually... But obviously in Germany, within the recruitment industry, there's the meet the team stage, which is not quite common in other countries. So I did relocate again.
Okay.
And that's how I got the job. I extended my post-study visa. And I worked then as a recruiter recruiting female software engineers, which was also very fun.
That sounds really nice. I was going to ask what was going through your mind at the point, you were making this second move back to Germany. But then I think it would have been easier since you already had a job that you were coming back to. To
be honest, I would say it was easier, but it was that thing where I just said, okay, because I now moved into a new apartment. I started buying things from scratch. I didn't even have, probably I just had a couch, a stove, a bed. I didn't sell the stuff. I said, let me reach Germany first, because remember
Okay.
now I'd even stayed 6 months, so I wasn't
Yes.
sure whether I'd have issues with coming back in since it's been longer than
Yes,
6 months.
yes.
But everything went smoothly, and yeah, I just had faith. I just said by June the 1st, I will start the job. I told
Okay.
them even to say I'll be
Yeah.
there by. I didn't even know how. Well, I didn't even get my ticket money, because by then, remember, I was a bit broke,
Yes,
and
yes,
I was
yes.
doing a bit of consultancy, like marketing consultations and stuff. So
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really cool. So while you were applying for all these jobs, now remember, like the previous experiences you had were just like menial jobs, you know, and how was the experience like applying for job the first time? How was the response of the recruiters at the beginning?
So before I came for my master's, I had 6 years experience
Oh, okay.
working as an account manager, because my background is marketing.
Yeah.
I did Chartered Institute of Marketing in the UK, which is like a professional qualification. I did 3 stages until postgraduate, and then I did a bachelor's
Okay.
from Greenwich University, UK as well. So at that stage, I had 6 years experience,
Okay.
account manager, being an account manager.
Relevant experience.
Yes,
yeah.
relevant experience. And one of the other things as well, which is the role that actually got me headhunted.
Yes.
Pause for a second. If you're enjoying the video so far, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really helps us keep creating the kind of content we hope you love. And hey, if you are thinking, I would love to be part of this, then don't hesitate. Scan the QR code you see on the screen. It will take you to a short form where you can submit a request to be a guest on the show. Whether you've got a story to tell, something you're passionate about, or you just enjoy good conversation, we would love to hear from you. This space is all about real people, real moments, and meaningful connections. And there is always room for one more at the table. All right, let's get back into it.
Is one time my line manager asked me to take up this voluntary role. Now, remember, it's a voluntary role, and I'm just like, it doesn't come with money. So I was even asking my manager, why are you choosing me?
Yes.
And then my manager's like, no, I believe you can do it. So
Yeah.
it was like equality, diversity, and inclusion
Yeah.
lead for a global organization. So I did that for 3 years, not knowing that that voluntary role will get me headhunted.
Oh, wow.
So this particular recruitment company, remember, they were recruiting female software engineers. So they wanted someone who's got experience
Yes,
in
working
equality
with
and
females. Yeah.
diversion, like who's got like just that EDI,
Yeah.
some call it DE&I background. And that's what got me headhunted on LinkedIn, because I think, you know, on LinkedIn when they put the filters
Yes,
and
yes,
everything,
yes, yes.
and I popped up, and they thought they would never find a person like that. And then when I
Wow.
popped up, so I think that's what got me into being a
Yeah.
recruiter, because of that experience that I had already. But obviously the recruitment side of things, in terms of how to, you know, analyze a CV and all that stuff, I had to be trained into that, but I already had some.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool. That would go to tell you that like no skill is really a waste. you
Yeah,
know. The
true.
skills that you might be rejecting today might be what is going to be paved the way
True.
for you in the future.
Yeah.
That's a good one. So let's talk about dating
Ooh.
in Germany.
Yeah.
I bring you guys very hot and spicy topics, I swear. So like, are you currently dating? Okay, zip it. That's okay. But like, whether you're dating now or not, let's go back to your previous experiences, your previous dating experiences. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. This is for people who might be wanting to explore dating in Berlin, so that they have tips, you know. How was your experience, or how has the experience been dating in Germany, especially dating people from different races?
Well, I had an experience of, well, obviously this is high school dating of a different race, so for me that wasn't
Yes,
something new.
okay.
But I think the dating scene in Germany is very different, because it's not something you do, you know, like you don't meet people through interactions and stuff like that. It's mostly
Yeah.
dating apps.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I'm one person who, dating apps is not my thing. Like
Okay.
dating apps is not my thing. So it was quite hard. The first 2 years when I was a student, I wasn't actually even dating, because at that point I'm here struggling to make money. Like for me, it was just like, I need to make money
Yeah,
and after money
and be
class, and
stable.
yeah. So I felt like it would be a bit like unfair for me to get into a relationship and always be talking about money problems with
Yes,
someone,
yes,
right?
yeah.
So I think the first few years, I think of which sometimes when I look back, I feel like maybe I should have started a little bit early, because then I was like, I don't have time for apps, to be
Yes,
honest.
yes.
But as time went on, I did try. But even when I do try, then I would like get off within 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I would be
Because
so,
you've gotten hooked or you're disappointed.
I just don't have time. I used to
Oh, okay.
forget to
Yeah.
get on it. So it's that thing where you swipe people,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
chatting people,
yeah.
then you're not there the whole day. And, you know, I think I've just not really been sort of like social media. I don't want to say addict, but social media, I can't do without it. I think even then,
okay.
being a recruiter, I spent most of my time on LinkedIn.
When you compare dating in the UK and back home, and like when you compare it to dating in Berlin, what would you say is the major difference in dating?
I think it's just Germany, very open-minded.
Yeah,
like they're
I
very
agree.
open-minded. And you know, back home where if a guy takes you out, the guy would maybe pay for the bill. And, you know, here there's a possibility that the
Yeah.
person you go on a date with will do
Yeah.
50-50 with you.
So you better pick what you can
better-
pay for.
You better have some money just in case. But I'm quite lucky. I think I've just had one experience where someone did that, but which was
Okay.
also fine. I was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, I've read some stories, so it's fine.
Yeah.
So I think it's just that culture of where there isn't this expectation that the man will spoil you or all that stuff.
Yes.
You know, it's more of like taking a walk. It's
Yeah.
more of the recreative
Yeah.
dating, whereas obviously back home it's more of they want to spoil you and splurge
Yeah.
on you and stuff like that. So I think that's the major difference. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Based on your dating experience, do you feel like people date you differently based on your race? Have you ever felt like that?
To be honest, I have. I think there's some people who want to just date you for the experience
Yeah.
of, let's say, being with an African queen. So,
Yeah,
I get that. There's some people who either they've never, so they're more of like curious.
They're curious,
Some
yeah.
people would even just come on a date with you to just maybe try to hear what you're about. Not necessarily that
Yeah.
maybe they even want, you can, I think
To confirm
yeah,
a prejudice they have.
yeah, you can tell that. But most times I think I'm also very picky in terms of before I would be very picky before I
Yeah.
go on a date with somebody. I'll be
Yeah.
like the type of questions or how the conversation is going.
You could already
you know,
tell.
you can already tell. But yeah. Definitely it is there.
Have you had any like awkward dating experiences?
Yeah, I think one of the awkward ones, some guy I had gone on a date with decided to remove an EpiPen and jabbed himself while we were on the table.
What?
And I found that a bit awkward. And the same EpiPen had a very strong smell, so I was just like, and it was awkward.
Did he
because
have to tell you before he did this?
He didn't. He just went and did it, and then I was just like, okay. It was weird. I don't know
I
why
would
he didn't
cringe.
excuse himself to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
It was just, yeah.
Oh, that's quite weird.
Yeah.
Okay. When it comes to dating, what is one instant green flag for you?
Green flag.
Yes. We can't be talking about the red flags.
I think green flag is someone who's just honest in terms of, you know, we all have maybe experiences or
Yeah.
things that we carry or baggage or whatever. So I think
Yeah.
someone who's just transparent about
Yeah.
where they are in life and what the mistakes they've made and
Yeah.
move on from that. Because
Okay.
I think being just upfront so that then I can tell whether or not I want to explore something with that person
Yeah.
or not. So I think
Yeah.
honesty.
If you can describe your dream partner, who knows, you might have the partner already, but it might also be on my podcast. So if you have to describe your dream partner, who would he be?
Yeah, I think honest.
Yeah.
I think, you know, when you're young or when you're growing, you have certain expectations of what you want in a partner. But
Yeah.
I think when you get to a certain stage in life, the things that are important, because before you'd be like, oh, he has to look a certain way, but now it's not even about looks.
Right,
It's,
yeah.
I think there's certain things, being honest, being kind.
Yeah.
It's one
Very
thing
important.
being
Yeah.
kind is very important, because then also someone who's maybe communicative, you know, because then how do you navigate problems if
Yeah.
you can't talk through them? Because I think
Yes.
with there'll always be problems, but being able to talk through them. So honesty, kindness, communication, and someone who's just confident, like, yeah, like own it, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, and someone who's not afraid to love, like,
Yeah.
because I think that's also sometimes in my experiences of dating, what's challenging is someone not understanding that they also can be loved. It's one thing to love someone,
Yes.
but it's another thing to appreciate or be okay with someone loving you back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That is one issue I feel like I have with the dating apps, you know. Like when you go on the dating apps, it's almost like people already know exactly what they're looking for. So it reduces the patience that people invest in trying to understand each other.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, oh, like I have a profile already. Once you're chatting with someone, you're checking out whether they fit in, and it can make you to quickly disconnect with someone even before getting to the point where you actually see their real value.
True.
So I want to go back home where guys chat.
Me and you both. Sometimes I'm like, I think I need to leave this place
You
again.
know, where I just have to like give the green light and they do the work. There's the advantage to it here too, like because you get to go for what you want, but at the same time, it's not just what I'm used to. Back home, if you should approach a man here, they would consider it desperation.
Sometimes even it's an offense. They find
Exactly.
sexual harassment.
No, but here you have to just like be confident about what you're looking for, and when you see someone you like, you can start a conversation. You know,
So would you do that?
I do that.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I've become so German, but I actually do that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't like it. I don't want to be doing it. I want people to approach me. Yeah, let's talk about some fun and a little lifestyle game. What is your comfort go-to outfit?
Shorts. I love shorts. I hate wearing jeans, but shorts are my go-to.
Nice.
Definitely.
Nice. What is one self-care ritual that you swear by?
Getting a massage at least once a month.
I need it. It's been a long time I got a massage.
Yeah. I try to at least get that just the feeling and just spoil myself to say at least for the hard work I've done this month, let me do that. So I think that.
So once your salary drop, you have a massage appointment booked already.
So I've registered with this gym where I get discounts on massages because I know I don't party and all that stuff as I used to, so I might as well spend on something that I know will make me. I'm a sucker for massages, so a massage, and then obviously from time to time manicure, pedicure, and stuff. So,
Is your masseuse usually like a guy or a girl?
So surprisingly, last month I had my first with a guy. It was a bit. I was just like, okay, I wasn't so sure. But surprisingly, he was good because I was like, okay, this is the first time it's a man, and
but not
it was
happy
good.
ending, yeah.
I know. I just had to be like, no. Yeah, for some reason, I think it was, but he did okay. I think I was quite worried about the bottom part, but...
I mean, but to me, he's professional. Like, since
No, he was very professional. I could tell even just how he was going. He was.
Okay. So what is your favorite way to romanticize your life these days?
I love to buy myself flowers. I love flowers. My dad used to buy my mom flowers all the time, and I used to be the one to take care of them. So he would buy for her.
Yeah, but
and
they're your
she
flowers.
would make sure they're my flowers. I'll be the one watering. So I think because of that, I love getting myself flowers.
Nice. Yeah.
Obviously, I love it when a man does it as well, but I get myself flowers. I'm happy getting flowers for myself.
You've earned the flowers. You deserve them. That's nice. What is your dream girls trip destination?
Ooh, so I recently went on a girls trip with my girls. We do a trip once a year, a random place in Europe, and I never thought it would be, but it's Spain, Mallorca.
Oh, I've been. Mallorca is really nice, especially the beaches.
Oh, the water, blue.
Yeah, like, so blue.
Yeah, so
the palms. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. So I would say Mallorca, Spain for sure.
Oh, that's really nice. So you want to go back to the same place?
You
don't want to explore new places.
No, but every year we've got this ritual. So every year we have to visit a place we've all never been. Okay. And we've been doing that for the past 6 years. We're all from Zambia, and they're also in Europe as well. So
that's really beautiful.
I get to do that with them.
That's really cool. Are there any weird habits that you've picked up in Germany since you started living here?
Yes, the recycling. I take recycling now a little bit more serious. Recycling.
Oh, okay, I see.
Of trash. I take it a bit more seriously. I even make sure I go change my water bottles because I buy water bottles. So I always have this big bag where I'm walking to go change my water bottles. But Yeah, I would say that. I'm getting more into the habit, obviously, of walking because here it's a thing to walk, which before, obviously, I never used to do a lot of that. Wearing sneakers and just being so
course.
casual. I think
Yeah.
before I was always dressed up and all that stuff, but this place has made me be more relaxed.
Yeah, and comfortably in like just all about comfort instead of
Yeah,
style.
all about
Yeah.
comfort instead of style. But I'm trying to change that now and
Yeah.
be a bit more in my heels in the office and everybody's just looking at me. But even
Yeah.
though I'm still trying to get back, I'm still like always more dressed than everybody in the
Yes,
office,
yeah,
which is,
yeah.
So I would say,
Yeah. That's interesting. So, like, are you then planning to maybe like get a car at some point? Because a girl on a hill doesn't use the public transport.
that's the thing. I always keep my heels at the office and when I get there, I change. But yeah, I'm actually currently trying to change because that's also another thing that I didn't know. When I came to Europe, I should have changed my driver's license immediately the
yeah.
first 6 months.
Yeah.
But I didn't do that. So I've got my international license, which I'm trying to convert to a German license. So I still have to do the theory tests.
Yes.
So I'm currently doing my theory lessons and
nice.
hopefully I can take the test next month. So
Yeah.
by end of this year, I'll probably be driving.
That's interesting. I learned that you can only convert the license within 6 months of moving to Europe. Mm-hmm. So how are you able to?
So for
convert
mine, it's
years
not
now?
really a conversion anymore because I
Okay.
passed that the
Yes.
first 6 months of staying. So since I've been here 6 years,
yeah.
I'm sort of doing like a refresher learning. So I
Okay.
do the theory as per standard, but my classes are reduced. So instead of
Oh, I see.
doing the
20, I think.
instead of doing 20, I'll probably do like 6
Oh,
classes.
I see.
Because I already, and that's if
see.
I'm doing the same automatic rather than manual driving.
Okay, that's amazing. So then it saves you a lot of cost as well.
Yeah,
Interesting.
definitely. But obviously, the other thing is I stay right in the center, so I'm hoping maybe to relocate in the outskirts so that I can be enjoying that car because in the
yes.
center, my work
Yeah,
is in the
it would be a
center.
waste.
Then yeah.
I understand. So now let's play a quick fire this or that game. I'll give you 2 options and then you pick one and tell me why. Just a short response, okay? So public transport or driving?
Driving. Driving. Those hills have to be in the car. Definitely driving.
That's nice. Dating apps or organic connections?
Organic.
Yeah, but where did you find organic connections?
I
in
know,
Berlin,
right?
though?
I need to get out there a bit more, I think.
Well, what kind of places do you think people can go out to? The clubs?
I don't know.
Maybe the bars.
I've never fancied club. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
because anyway, it's different,
Yeah.
but I would like more like lounges or
Yeah.
like outside events or whatever. But I don't know. Anyway, you never know where you meet someone. So, but I would pick organic over dating apps
Yeah.
any day because even dating apps within 3 days, I'm like, we have to meet. If we're not meeting, I'm not gonna be your pen pal or something. Yeah.
I think I also actually prefer organic, but it's so hard
Yeah.
in Berlin. You can't help but just depend on the apps,
Yeah.
And there are sometimes that you could be. It's happened to me a couple of times. Maybe like I'm shopping and somebody walks up to you, or maybe like sometimes I will be coming back from work, or maybe like I'm just hanging out alone and somebody will walk up to you and be like, oh, I like your hair, or can I talk with you, or so those ones can be nice, but the app for me like makes it easier to filter the kind of people you're looking for. Because on the streets or at events, like people would walk up to you for themselves, but on the app you have access to the kind of people you might want.
True. That's true.
Texting or phone call?
I'm a phone call girl. Like, I like to laugh. I need you to hear me laugh. I need you to hear that I'm surprised. Texting is not my thing. That's why most times I even prefer sending voice notes, but I'm a call girl. Like, you need to hear my voice and I need to hear your voice.
Yeah, I think I prefer calls as well.
Yeah.
Now, wrapping up, if you could ask me one question, what would it be?
Can we get 2 or 3 questions? I've got so many questions for you. I don't even know which one to ask you. Whether it's maybe, I think obviously I admire what you do in terms of just it's not easy just being doing podcasts or being out there.
Yeah.
So like, how do you do it, and like what are your sort of like challenges, or sort of like, are you ever nervous or something? But like, how do you do it? And if someone wants to start doing it, what would
okay.
your advice be?
So first of all, I would say that I'm just getting started, and I think I have this drive to just give people a platform where they can share their stories with the hope that it's going to like inspire someone out there, you know, because a lot of times we just need people who have gone ahead of us to follow in their steps. So this is why I started this podcast. There are so many exciting things like that I'm planning to bring on this podcast. It hasn't been easy because I have a 9 to 5, you know, so juggling 9 to 5 and content creation is not easy at all. Some of my challenges, I would say, is the scheduling. You know, there are sometimes you plan a content and there's something disrupts the whole plan, and then you lose your time, you lose the motivation, but you have to come back to gain the motivation back, because I always remember why I'm starting this. And for someone who is wanting to start, first of all, don't forget what is your drive. Once you remember your drive, even on the not so motivating days, you would, even when people cancel, you will still like motivate yourself and remember that there are so many other people who are excited to come on board. So,
and what's your drive?
My drive, I mentioned already, is just to have a platform that encourages people, that motivates someone out there, even if it's one person, even if it's two people. It's just my way of making a little impact in the society.
It's good.
Yeah.
No, you're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's not easy. I know,
It's
because
not
I'm one
easy.
person who's nervous too, you know. So you're
yeah.
really doing a great job.
About getting nervous, I don't know. I wouldn't say so. Like, it's just because, like, you see how we're having this conversation, it feels natural. You know, it doesn't feel like I'm trying to like impress or like over package or anything. So it's just like, I'm someone who likes indulging in conversations. So like, to me, this feels like a natural conversation. So I wouldn't say that I feel nervous.
More questions? Okay.
So one more question before we go.
What would your advice be regarding dating in Germany?
Oh, I think I've met some really nice people, especially on the dating apps. This is not advice. I would just share my opinions, more of, you know. So I would say, especially for people who are coming from the part of the world where we come from, the culture there is so different. What we said earlier, men are the ones that usually make the move. But the culture is so, I would say, a bit more neutral here. Like, even most of the dating apps, women have more leverage, you know.
Yeah.
So I think you should utilize the leverage. You don't have to wait to pick from people who are interested in you, because sometimes when you pick from the options that are given to you, that come to you, you might not even see what you're looking for there. So I think I would suggest that you go and scout for your own choices. Slide into somebody's DM, you know, and there's no shame in it. We have back home, we have such culture, especially when it comes to what a woman should be, you know. If you start a conversation with a guy, it sounds desperate, you know, but you know what you want. Like, you're looking for what you want out of life, you know. So there's no point. You have to kill that mentality and just go for what you want.
I could go on interview. It'll be another session.
Yes, please. I feel like I've turned to the guest. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Lovett. She had a lot to pour out. I hope her story motivates one or two people out there. If you enjoyed the conversation or you have any questions, please do drop a comment on the comment section. We are going to reply to all your comments. Also, do follow us on our social media platforms. And we are going to see you again in our next video.
Follow, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.